one. We're coming to the end of our time in WA and making our way to South Australia, which only means one thing. We are about to cross the Nullarbor Plain. For those of you who don't know, the Nullarbor Plain contains Australia's longest, straightest road, and it's about 15 hours of driving for old 80, going at 100 k's per hour in the middle of the desert. There are about 3 roadhouses that you can stop at to get fuel.
Oh, it's up to 15 cents these days.
And that is it. So join us on that adventure, but until we enter that desert wasteland, we are here in Cape Legrand National Park. This is our last stop in WA. Not a cloud in the sky today, and LuckyBay is just over there. That's our campsite for tonight and tomorrow. And it is Australia's best beach, so they say. We will be the judges of that. Come along with us. Right now, we are on the top of Frenchman's Peak, looking out, and it's beautiful.
I don't wanna be the girl, but I kinda need a word. Well, I'm into you. And all I know, it's been a long time. I was on the sideline waiting for you.
But just before we take you to LuckyBay, we're gonna show you Hellfire Bay as a warm-up act. How good is that?
There is a large pod of dolphins not 20 meters off the beach, and they're just hanging out. There are heaps of people just chilling out there with them. They're just chilling. We're gonna go. This place couldn't get any better. We walk along the rock and there's this massive pod of dolphins. Like, man. This is, we are like living a postcard right now. This is just unbelievable. Reminds me of Wine Class Bay, but it's 30 degrees instead of like 17, and I really want to go for a swim instead of convincing myself that it's a good idea.
Go to California or anywhere you wanna. As long as I'm with you, I'm alright. And we don't need the drama. We'll find our own nirvana. So run away with me tonight. 'Cause it feels like I'm dreaming when I'm waking up next to you. And my wild heart is beating because it's beating next to you.
This is the most clear water I've ever seen in my entire life, outside of a swimming pool. So we're here at LuckyBay, and the plan is we're gonna do a bit of paddleboarding, a bit of strolling up and down the beach. We've actually met some other people in vans that we're gonna hang out with for the next day. Hard to say, kind of taking it loose and fast and goose.
Oh boy.
That's why Sarah talks to the camera, she's much better at it.
There was a kangaroo on the beach before, and there was just like this flock of tourists around it, and then it, would you believe, it got scared and ran away. Would you believe? Anyway, we're hoping that it comes back, because that's one of the things LuckyBay is famous for, is having local kangaroos just come and hang out on the beach with you as you're enjoying the water. So are they. So fingers crossed that happens, but even if it doesn't, it is just such a beautiful day despite the wind. When we were at Hellfire Bay, I got bitten by so many march flies. If you don't know what a march fly is, think of a fly and then enlarge it to be the size of your pinky finger, and it bites. So my ankle is covered in bites right now, and they really hurt. So we're actually very thankful for the wind right now, because it means there aren't any flies that can come get us.
So beautiful. Oh man, I feel like a puppy. I feel like a puppy at the beach.
It honestly feels like this place isn't real, like we're in some kind of dreamland that we'll never get to go to again. We are just savoring every moment of it. It is so nice. The sand is this impossible white, and the blue of the sea is just an impossible blue. And I just, let me do it again.
Redo.
All right, things are getting pretty tense. It is Zane's turn up next, and we are on 49. We need 1 for the win. The 1 pin is out in its own country. Whoop whoop. And we have missed twice. So if you know how to play Finska, you know what that means. It means if we miss again, the 3rd time in a row, we are out of the game. We are see you later, go home, goodbye, losers. And if we hit it, we will come home with the gold. And what a glorious way to win.
I don't know if I go for glory and shame or if I just play it safe.
I reckon we're gonna go for it.
Well done, team. Sarah and Zane.
Yes. Good game.
Love it.
Yes. Good game.
Oh wow.
Good game.
What a team. What a team. Yes.
Got it.
Oh.
I may not have won at Mahjong, but I won Finska.
Excuse me.
What he means is we won. We're on the same team, but anyway.
It says, cold is like a recovery ice bath.
It's lucky the water is so beautiful because it is so cold right now that I don't know that I'd be in here unless it was this beautiful.
Yeah. But the sun is up, the clouds have gone, the wind is way down. So other than the water being absurdly frigid, really good conditions.
Alright, just gotta rip the band-aid, let's do it. Well, it was far too windy to go paddleboarding. Oh dear, so poor Zane's had to carry both of them down and now both of them back up without us using them at all. But you know, you win some, you lose some.
Doing great.
Thanks.
But long wheelbase.
Short wheelbase, medium wheelbase, sprinter squad.
We were gonna get some cash out because there's a severe lack of stable internet in the Nullarbor, as well as a severe lack of internet. And so the places may or may not be able to accept card. And so if you need fuel in the middle, you could potentially be stranded until the internet comes back. We're just gonna have to wing it. We've got a little bit of cash.
We got a little bit,
Yeah.
we just wanted more.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
But the 3 ATMs we just went to all said that they were temporarily unavailable due to scheduled maintenance. It'll be fine.
Some heist in Esperance happening right now that we're like, oh, another ATM, God.
Yeah.
You just gotta make your mind up. Just give me a sign if you want a ride. They don't really wanna know, so we throw away our phones, go Bonnie and Clyde. We could go to California or anywhere you wanna. As long as I'm with you, I'm alright. Anywhere you wanna. And we don't need the drama. We found our own nirvana, so run away with me tonight.
Doesn't like tea. We have driven 2 hours so far. We're stopped in Norseman. We're gonna check out the information center. Apparently they give out certificates for crossing the Nullarbor. We have not done that yet, but I'm wondering if you need to pick one up this side and get it stamped at the other. Anyway, we're gonna find out.
Oh, good.
I feel like I'm in 2nd grade. I'm so proud. The lady was so nice. She was like, well, you haven't actually done it yet, but I'll give you one, just make sure you do it. She said it about 3 times, that we have to make sure that we actually cross it, so we're not frauds. I said I wouldn't dream of it and that we won't let her down. So fingers crossed Odie keeps herself together for the drive. I'm slightly worried about that. But anyway, check out our certificate. Mom, look.
And if we, like, we're not gonna break down, but if we do, there's extra tick boxes that we can just tick, you know?
Oh, true, we can run it.
We can finish by foot or we can finish by bus. It's cool.
Ha.
So it's all going pretty good. 2 hours in, we've swapped drivers, planning to swap every 2 hours. So Sarah's driving now. Let me tell you, this road is so incredibly straight. We are driving across the Great Australian Bight, which is massively long. The Nullarbor Plain is just a smaller segment of it, and it is 200,000 square kilometers of limestone rock, flat. The largest flat piece of limestone in the entire world, 300 meters deep in some sections. That's what we're really hanging out for tomorrow. Today, we're driving the world's longest straight section of road. They call it the 90-mile straight. That's coming up in about an hour or two. You don't want to sit and watch this video for 2 hours, so we're gonna give it to you in 10 seconds or less.
Woohoo!
We've made it. This is the beginning of Australia's longest, straightest road. Some people have said it's the longest, straightest road in the world.
We're driving the world's longest straight section of road.
I think they would say that if that was true. So before I moved to Australia, the longest, straightest section of road I had ever driven in my life was this section of road on the way to Florida from my home state of North Carolina. It was 9 miles long. It's completely flat, no hills, no turns, and it blew my mind. This is 10 times longer than that. Feeling really good right now. Check in with me at the other end.
'Cause it feels like I'm dreaming when I'm waking up next to you, and my wild heart is beating because it's beating next to you. Let's find something better to hold on to, 'cause we can do anything we want to.
We did it!
That was wild. I just feel like time warp.
I was sitting here reading a book, and all of a sudden, Zane's like, "Whoa! I thought something bad was happening." I look up. Anyway, turns out we were turning, like, curving around, and that was the end. No sign or anything. No, nothing like there was at the start. Just a curving road, which is all the sign you need in a way.
Man,
Whoo! Tick that
Honestly,
one off.
I feel like that could have been 30 seconds, but it was an hour and a half. During it, I felt like I'd been there for an eternity, but now that it's gone, 30 seconds.
Look at this. At least like 3 curves coming up. Amazing.
Wow.
Alright, next stop is Cocklebiddy. Yep, that's the real name of the place.
We've come 650 Ks or thereabouts today. And if you're new to this channel, this is the part where we get hot chips. We review them and we rank them according to our scale.
Cocklebiddy chips.
Here we go.
They smell great. They are piping hot because they make to order. So I appreciate you, Cocklebiddy Motel. Thank you very much for doing that instead of just giving us the things that have been sitting there for 3 hours in the
Yeah.
hot plate thing.
They look fantastic.
They look great. The perfect mix of oil and potato color.
Cheers. Fresh.
Delicious.
They are amazing. Whoa.
This one's quite long. I'm saving this.
We have a contestant for longest chip.
I found that most chip containers from like a chip shop are wide and shallow, whereas this is quite deep. Also worth noting that we are trying to beat sunset, and we have about an hour's drive, so we are really getting into this.
It's true.
What a burden.
It's so small.
Wow.
It's a complete chip. It's not even like it broke off anything. It's so small.
A rectangular prism.
Wow.
They win smallest chip, that's for sure. So far, 2 contenders for the longest chip.
Here we go. This one, contestant number 1, 13.
Oh yeah.
Contestant number 2,
It's shorter.
no offense, and he's also scrawnier, just doesn't look as well generally.
13 centimeters, well done.
Amazing. Very long and very short. almost finished with the box now, and it's becoming apparent that they are very much lacking in crunch. They're all fluff.
As you go down deeper. And that's because it's a deep box. That's gonna happen with the heat, you know?
Out of the oil.
You gotta think of that. That hit the spot, I'm not gonna lie. It really hit. It hit.
I love that.
Do you love it enough?
That was really salty.
Cocklebiddy would make a terrible child's name.
Very, very bad child's name.
One of the worst. Let's be honest. One of the worst.
Not that that is supposed to weigh your decision whatsoever.
That's true. That's true. You just gotta award it what it's awarded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say worth its own bistro at the visitor centre because it was amazing, and then it reached a definite point where it became not amazing anymore, and we were just sort of eating the last third of the chips because they were there, not because they were incredible. The sog factor really sort of set in. But points for having the smallest chip as well as a really big contender for the longest chip. Well done. I appreciate that. Hats off.
That's true. That's very cool. I'm gonna take it a step down to humble potato, which is rare for me to be a more harsh judge than Sarah. Hear me out.
Okay, I'm so proud of you.
My reason is because they were all fluff. They needed just a little bit of crunch. And all they have to do is put a little bit more thought into their chips.
Oh.
Because they were really good. And if the fryers / packagers thought about it just a little bit more, let them fry slightly longer or put them in a more spread out box, they would for sure be worth their own brochure, perhaps even more. That's my advice to you, Cocklebiddy. Hear me, make the changes, and next year.
No, I mean, yeah, maybe next year if we visit. I will eat my hat if we drive the Nullarbor Plain again.
Yes.
We're not big drivers.
Not big drivers.
Not
We've been
big
talking
on
about
driving.
that. Yeah.
Anyway, tick it off the bucket list, you know, rite of passage and all that. All right, let's go. Let's beat this sunset.
So we stayed last night at a 24-hour rest area. Show you around. It's just a real simple gravel circle with lots of little pull-offs where you can park your vehicle in a nice flat spot, generally protected from the wind. It's got a bit of shade if you need it. If it's really hot, we are fine because we arrived like just after dark. And real simple pit toilets and real simple, just a couple garbage cans laying around, picnic tables.
Back on the road. Good morning. We're crossing the border today. I like being on roads where you wave to all the other drivers. It's been a while since we were on one of them. I had to train myself out of it while we're in cities. Because no one likes, well, people don't seem to appreciate it in the city when you wave at them all the time. Whereas here, there's a car maybe every, I don't know, 10 minutes? If that, and it's nice. Hello.
I certainly do not appreciate the whole waving thing all the time. Grinds my gears that Sarah's always like getting on to me that I've missed a wave.
Yeah, because it's rude.
Because I'm in my own little headspace, daydreaming about something, and then next thing I know, oh, I've got to come out of it to wave to somebody.
Oh no.
No. This road that we're on now, I think, is worse than the longest, straightest road in the sense that it feels longer and straighter, because this road is extremely flat, whereas the longest, straightest one was still at least a little hilly. This one, nothing. In other more exciting news, Odie's about to turn 360,000 kilometers, and what's really exciting, she's never been that old before. Hey!
Yeah. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Odie.
Is it? I'm not really sure if it's her birthday, but it's definitely turned into her birthday. The border village is actually only about 20 k's away from here, which is great news. We are getting ready to say goodbye to WA and head into South Australia. Oh man, what a time it's been. I'm getting really nostalgic about the past 2.5 months. We are also getting ready to change time zones, which will happen as soon as we cross into South Australia. We are going to lose 2.5 hours of our day.
It'll make us feel like night owls, because at 11 p.m. we'll roll around and we'll say, oh yeah, the night's just getting started. Let's keep drinking tea. We've made it to South Australia. Yes!
So I've been so keen to get a photo with the big WA-SA border official spot thing, and it turns out it's on the Western Australian side. So we drove through, crossed into South Australia, and then had to loop back around and ask the police officers very nicely if we could please cross back over without having the van checked and having to go through a border permit process, take a photo, and then loop back around into South Australia. So police officer was a bit skeptical at first. He said, you can park right there where I can see you, and then you can walk over and take your photo. And then he walked up to us when we were parked and said, did you want the van in the shot? And we said, yeah, if possible. Anyway, he said, yeah, just be quick about it so that the guys down the road don't get all upset. Anyway, thanks to that legend of a police officer, got our photos. I'm a happy camper, and here's that shot.
Like that. I have a carrot to dip in the Vegemite.
Zane and I are not golfers, which for this instance is quite unfortunate because across the Nullarbor Plain there is a golf course about 200k in between each hole, and there's a full golf course and you can play as a little stop along the way as you cross the Nullarbor, which is pretty cool. This is one of the holes and this is what they look like. Little patch of green as you start off, and then there's the hole. All right, time to keep going. See, the thing is, we have driven about, I think we're in our 9th to 10th hour of driving, and we still have a long way to go. It's like, oh, you know, we've still got a long drive ahead. We've still got a long drive ahead, and we've still got a long way to go. Anyway, trying to keep our morale up. We've got some iced coffee on the way, and we're trying to eat through all our vegetables because they'll take them at the border, and we have a lot of carrots to eat.
We've got, I don't know, 20 carrots left.
20.
Before we get to the first town in South Australia, where they either have to be cooked, eaten, or disposed of. So we'll eat a couple raw ones, then we'll cook the rest. Also, we gotta cook some sweet potato and onion. So that's gonna be a big weird soup thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking soup. I'm thinking soup. That sounds not like a weird soup. That sounds like a great soup to me. What? So the road to cross the Nullarbor Plain basically hugs the coastline around the Great Australian Bight. And there are these epic cliffs. You can take a little side road off the highway, there are heaps of them, just gravel, sort of rocky roads, and come out and just get this awesome view of these cliffs that just drop straight into this turquoisey water. We actually just spotted dolphins, just chilling, just making their way up the coast. It's so cool that from this far up you can look straight down and see crystal clear these dolphins just having the best time and swimming in and out. Gotta be aware, camels, wombats, kangaroos, they're all there, just lurking. This is like a quintessential sign, a must do when you're crossing the Nullarbor is to get a photo with one of these signs telling you about the local wildlife that you could potentially encounter. So here's hoping they stay well away from the road.
Well, it has been incredibly flat for the last forever, and right now we are coming up to the Nullarbor Roadhouse.
And
get you some petrol. Just pull your van right up here.
How much per litre?
What are you waiting for? Oh, it's up to 15 cents these days. We are officially across the Nullarbor now. But we're still in the Great Australian Bight, and we've got to keep going. Next stop is Penong, the town of 100 windmills. In between here and there, yep, you guessed it, a lot more straight, flat road. I do not feel like the Nullarbor Plain has ended. It is still very flat and still very treeless, so. I would like to acknowledge, we said there would be 100 windmills, and there are not 100. There's quite a few, but not 100. My apologies. They do, however, have the biggest. We were wrong about that. We did not predict this bad boy.
When it says biggest, I think it means biggest wingspan. So that's 35 feet across. There's one over there that's taller, which had me scratching my head, but then I'm pretty sure they mean blade size. Impressive wingspan. Third and final day of the Nullarbor crossing is today. We are freshly showered. We had a great camp last night at this place, which is called Cactus Beach. Apparently this is like a sacred place for Australian surfing. We had no idea, we just rocked up. Bonus is that it is right next door to Lake McDonnell, and Lake McDonnell is famous for being pink. I don't know if you knew this about Australia. I certainly didn't before we started the trip, but it has a lot of pink lakes, and when we say pink, we mean pink.
'Cause it feels like I'm dreaming when I'm waking up next to you. And my wild heart is beating because it's beating next to you. Let's find something better to hold on to, 'cause we can do anything we want to. And I can't help the feeling that I get when I'm next to you.
Well, we made it past the quarantine checkpoint, which means we have officially crossed the Nullarbor Plain, and
Yeah.
we have earned our certificate. How do you feel?
I am so glad to be on the other side of the Great Aussie Bight. Wow, that was, what a marathon.
It's a big bite. It is.
Big bight. Oh, the Nullarbor. Nullarbor. Oh, the Nullarbor. Nullarbor.